Hello everyone, I'm Frank, and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's hard level difficulty puzzle, and it's called 10-ish by Chinstrap. And here are the rules. We have 9 by 9 Latin square rules apply, which means place each digits 1 through 9 once in each row and column without repeats. We have embedded Squish Doku, where the upper left 7 by 7 of the grid is a squish doku consisting of 9 3 by 3 boxes, excuse me, with boxes overlapping at the dotted lines. So specifically, this area is the squish doku, and it consists of 3 9 by 9 boxes, but essentially, some cells are part of multiple boxes, right? So for example, this is a box here. So anything on the dotted lines are part of all the boxes that it would be considered part of, right? So this cell is part of the box 1, box 2, box 4, and box 5. Digits digits must not repeat in a box. So keep that in mind. So this is basically just normal Sudoku, except that certain cells can be part of multiple boxes. We have arrows, where digits on an arrow sum to the digit in the bulb. So for example, all 6 of these cells must add up to the digit that's in the bulb. Say we had a 2 and a 5 here, then this would have to be 7 as an example, because 2 and 5 add up to 7. And so the digits on the arrow sum up to the digit in the bulb. And those are examples of how arrows work. And finally, we have 10 lines, where lines can be split into 1 or more distinct segments whose digits sum to 10. So as an example, you could have something like, say, 2, 8, 7, 3 here. And this would be valid because you have this segment adding up to 10 and this segment add up to 10. Remember, the line can be split up into 1 or more distinct segments whose digits must sum to 10. So that means the whole thing must be essentially divided into segments, all of which must add up to 10. So this could be a valid 10 line, but you could also have something like 2, 4, 1, and 3, right? This is just one segment, which all adds up to 10, and that works also. And those are examples of how 10 lines work. And those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, this arrow is interesting. So, the most any digit on this arrow can be, it could be 5 with the rest being 1s, right? So you can have up to 5 on this arrow. No. 4. 4 with 5 1s is possible. There we go. So it has to be 4 with 4 with 5 1s, adding up to 9. This is definitely at least 6, though, because you could have 6 1s here technically. Technically not, actually. These 2 digits must be at least... Okay, so how does this squish doku work here? What's the minimum amount for these digits? For these 4? Obviously, you could have 1 and 1 here. But you could have 1, 2, 1, 2. So these digits cannot be the same, these digits cannot be the same, and these digits can't be the same. So that means this is at minimum So we try to have 1 here, 2. That's 2, because it can't be minimum of 1, because they're in the same box. So minimum of 1 would make that 2, which makes that minimum of 1, which makes that minimum of 2. So that's a minimum of 6 here. To add up to 9, you can only have 1 and 2 at the ends. So this can never be 3 or 4. It's 1 or 2. Okay. What about 4? Say we had 4 here. Is that possible to have 4 here? 4, 1, 2. 4, 1, 2, 1. That would be 8. Which could be with 1 and 1. So that's potentially possible. 4, 1, 2, 1. No. 4, 1, 2, 1 adds up to 8 plus 1 and 1. So this cannot be 4 here. Same with this then, because it works both ways there. Oh, this is guaranteed to be 1, 2, 1, 2, right? So that's 8 at least. No, sorry, 6 at least plus 1 and 1. So this is at least 8. Because of that, you can't have 4, right? If you have 4 here, 4, 1, 1, 2, again, adds up to 8 plus a 1 and a 1 adds up to 10. So 4 cannot be here. What about 3? 3, I think, works. So if you have 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1 adds up to 4, plus 3 is 7, plus 1 and 1 could be 9, so that works. Or 3 in between, that could be 1, 1, and 2, again, so that works too. Okay. Okay, so what happens if this is... So what happens if we try to make this 8? So if this is 8, this has to be 1 and 1 on the outside. It has to be 1, 2, 1 essentially on the inside. 1, 2, 1, 2 in the squish Doku. We know there's a 1 somewhere in box 2. We know there's a 1, well... So the rest of box 8 and the rest of box 9 have to be 3 through 9. So, yeah, box 8, box 6, and box 9 have to be 3 through 9. We are missing a 1 in both of these rows. So this can be 2 through 9 here. And 2 through 9 here. Which means where's the 1 in box 5? It has to be here. So this is 1, which makes this 2, which makes that 1. This 1 eliminates 1 here, so that's 2, which makes that 1. And we have a double 1 in box 9, which is not allowed. So this cannot be 8. It has to be 9. Okay. So that's, I guess, helpful. So we know this is 9 because 8 doesn't work. What happens if we try 1 and 1 here? I think that won't work, right? If we have 1 and 1 here, this is some combination of 1, 2, and 1, 3, right? With a guaranteed 1 being here and a guaranteed 1 being here. Well, the problem with that is 1 can't be here in row 3. 1 can't be in column 3 either. We are guaranteed a 1 in both box 8 and box 9, which eliminates 1 in the rest of those boxes. So this can't be 1, which forces a 1 to be here, which means this can't be 1. So it's 2 or 3. This would have to be 1 for box 8, but then this would have to be 1 here for box 6, because this can't be 1 again. And then we have the same problem of having 2 1s in box 9, which is not allowed. So this cannot be 1 and 1. This has to then be a 1, 2 with different digits here, which means this can't ever be 3. It has to be 1 and 2. So this is going to be one type of digit, and this is the other. So we'll make that one red, and we'll make that orange. So red cannot be... Red and orange cannot be either of these digits. Cannot be the central digit. Because if it were, the problem is orange would force both of these digits not to be the red one, and then that would force both of these to be orange, and then we have 2 oranges in the column. So red and orange can both not be that one. Red can't be here because of the 1, 2 pair in the box. Red can't be here because of the 1, 2 pair in the box. Therefore, that forces red to be there, which means this can't be red. This has to be red. That makes both of these orange, and this is red. And again, red and orange can't be here, so orange can't be here. Orange can't be here because of the 1, 2 pair in the box. Orange can't be here because of the 1, 2 pair in this box. And it can't be here because of 1, 2 pair in the row. So this has to be, or the orange 1, 2 in the row. So this has to be the orange 1, 2. And this is how that works. So this cannot be 1 or 2. So this must be 3 through 8 here. And it cannot be 8 because this can never add up to 9 because we have a 9 already in the row. So this could be 8 through 4 because this could be 1 and 3 at minimum. Because it cannot be either 1, 2 because it sees both the red 1, 2 and the orange 1, 2. So the red 1, 2, in box 2, we have it here. In box 6, we have it here. In box 9 and 8, we have it in this cell. So we need one for box 3. So it's one of those two. In box 1, cannot be in row 3. Can't be in here. So box 1, it has to be one of those 4. Therefore, where is the one for box 4? Can't be here because of the red 1, 2 in the row already. Can't be here. So it can't be here because of the red 1, 2 in the column. So it must be one of these two. Which means we're missing a red 1, 2 in one of these two cells. Because it can't be any of these cells in the squish Sudoku. These cells are eliminated because of the 1, 2, the red in the box. And this is also cannot be 1, 2 because this must be 1, 2 for box 4. The red 1, 2 for box 4. So that means we're missing a red 1, 2 here. This cannot be red 1, 2 because it can't. 1 and 2 cannot have two unique digits adding up to either of them. So where is the red 1, 2 in row 9? Can't be here because we have 2 accounted for in the column. Can't be here because of the 1, 2 in the red in the column. Can't be here because of same thing. Can't be here or here or here. So it can only be this cell, which means this is not red 1, 2. This is red 1, 2. So we should have something similar with orange 1, 2 here. Orange 1, 2. We already have one for box 9 and box 6. We have one for box 4 and box 5. We have one for box 8. So we need one for box 7. So it has to be one of those two. We need one for box 1, and it cannot be either of these, so one of these is orange 1, 2. We need one for box 2 then. And it can't be here, can't be here, can't be here because of orange 1, 2s in the rows and columns. So it has to be one of these two, which means we now have one for box 1, box 2, box 3, box 4 and 5, 6 and 9, 8 and 7, which means we don't have any more oranges in the Squish Doku. So where are we missing a orange then? In orange 1, 2, we have, okay, this, yeah, orange 1, 2, we're missing in column 7, and it can't be in the Squish Doku, so it must be one of these two, and in column 9. Well, it can't be this cell again, because 2 unique digits can never add up to a 1 or 2, so that means it has to be here, because it can't be in any of the rows, because those are all accounted for. So this is orange 1, 2. That means this can't be orange 1, 2. This has to be orange 1, 2. So if we had 3 digits here adding up to 10, it would have to be 1 and 2 with 7. But then could these 3 digits ever add up to 10? I guess it could be 3, 4, 3. That is possible. Yeah, that is possible. So this is guaranteed to be 1 or 2. We don't know which. Can it be 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4? I guess so. Right. So we don't know how this divides up. So this is either 1, 2, 1, 2, and 7. And then you would have 3, 4, and 3. Because this can't be 1 or 2 in either of these cells here. Or these cells, essentially. So we could have 1, 2, 7 with 3, 4, and 3, adding up to 10 and 10. Or this is 1, 2, 3, 4. This would have to be 6 or 7 here with 3 or 4 here. So 3, 4, 3, 4. So those are the possibilities. So either way, that means the rest of row 9 can never have 3 or 4, right? If this is 1, 2, 7, again, this has to be 3, 4, and 3, and you can't have any other combinations, right? If you try to have 3 and 5, that would require 2 there, but you can't have a 2 there. If you try to have 4 and something, again, you would have to have at least a 1 here, and you can't have a 1 there. So it has to be 3, 4. It can't be 4 and 3, because that would be 4, 3, 3. And you'd have 2 3s in the same column, which is not allowed. So either this is 7 with 3 and 4 here, which means you can't have 3 and 4 in the row, or this is 1, 2, 3, 4, adding up to 10. And this is 6 with 4 or 7 with 3. We're not sure which. Which again means 3 and 4 cannot be in the rest of row 9. So this cannot be 4. We have 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8 as possibilities there. But 5 cannot be here, right? If we had a 5 here, it would have to add up with 2 digits to add up to 10, because 5 and 5 only add up to 10 for 2 digits by themselves. So, sorry, it'd have to have another 2 digits adding up with 5 to add up to 10. And it cannot be 5, 2, 3 or 5, 1, 4 because neither 1 or 2 can be here. So this cannot be 5 here. This is 6, 7, or 8. So this has to be a pair that adds up to 10. We know that for certain because if we try to have more than 2 digits, you can't have, you own, for 4 digits, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 in, if they are in the same column or row. If it's 3 digits, well, 6 would have to be with 1 and 3, neither of which can be 1 or 2 here. And 7 would have to be with 1 or 2, neither of which can be 1 or 2 here. Therefore, this has to be 6, 7, and it cannot be 8, because, so this is 6, 7 with 3 or 4. Interesting. That means we have a 3, 4 pair here in row 8, which eliminates 3 and 4 in the rest of the row. So this is 5, 6, or 7 plus 1 or 2. That means this can't be 5. It's 6, 7, or 8 here. Can we have 7, 3, 4, 3? So this would be 4 and 6 if that's the case. We have a 3, 4, 6, 7 quadruplet in row 9, which eliminates 3, 4, 6, 7 in the rest of the row. This can't be 6 or 7, it's 8, which forces this to be 8, 1, and 7, adding up to it, or 2 and 6. So this cannot be 5. This has to be a 5 here. So that means because of the 3, 4, 6, 7 quadruplet in the row. Well, what does that mean? This is 2 digits adding up to 10. This could be either 4 digits adding up to 10 or two pairs of 2 adding up to 10. And it cannot be the full 4, because if it were the full 4, then we'd have to have both red and orange be on this line. So this must be divided into sets of 2. So we have 1 and 2, 1 and 2 with 9, or 8. So that means the other 1 or 2, as red, cannot be in the set, right? So this adds, these are 4 digits, 2 of which each add up to 10. And one of them is going to be 1 and 9, but it cannot be here. So this could be 2 here and 8 here, or this could be 1, 2 with 8, 9 there. And the other one has to be 3, 4, 6, or 7. It's still pretty broad. 5 cannot appear here in box 7, so where is the 5 then? It has to be here. So this is 5 and the other 1, 2. So we'll mark that as pink. Okay. That means this must be the 8 or the 9 that's not adding up to, that adds up to 10 with the red. And then 1 out of 3, 7, 4, 6. Okay. That means where's 5 in, well, 5. 5 cannot appear here in box 8 or 9. So 5 is one of these two in box 8. And if it's here in box 8, it has to be one of these two. If it's here in box 8, it cannot be in these digits in box 9. Interesting. Okay. Where is the 5 in box 1? Can't be here because of the 5 in the column. Can't be here because of 5 already in the box 4. So it has to be one of these 4. So we have both 1, 2s and a 5 here. We don't know what the remaining digit is. Um, hmm. So this has to obviously be the other 8, 9 here, and then the other pair that adds up to 10. So this is also 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Um, remaining digits of row 8 are 5 through 9. No 9 here because of 9 in the column. Hmm. Um, hmm. There are some interesting relationships between an embedded squish doku and a Latin square, but I don't really remember what those are. I did one puzzle that had this setup before, and there were some interesting deductions you can make from it, but I don't remember what those were again. I do remember something that along the lines you had 5 of each digit at most, I think, in the squish doku. You could never have 6. And therefore you had 2 that were always outside, right? Or maybe it wasn't 5. Maybe it was. Yeah, I think it was like. Maybe you had 5 or 6, I think it was, right? Hmm. Right, so you have an 8 here, which means you're missing 1 8 in the squish doku here, which means you have to have 6 8s somewhere in the squish doku. Well, that means 8 can never be in the corner. And then you have also the orange and red, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 8s. So I think it's these cells here, right? Which have to be. Because if you have 1 in the center here, that means you're guaranteed to have 1 in one of these 4 cells and 1 in one of these 4 cells. But that means either box 1 and box 2 have already had that digit set. And you have obviously box 5. And then you would have box 8 and 9 having those, excuse me, set. um, so how does that work? Um, So if that were the case, that's interesting. So if you have a digit here, it has to be either here and here or here. Sorry, here and here for box 2 and box 8 to have 1. Or here and here. Which means, again, okay. So, say it was here, and we had green here, and obviously then green would have to be here. The problem with that, well, I mean, it's not a problem, I guess, per se. But say we had that, that, and that. That means no more greens in box 8 and 9. No more greens can be in box 1 and 2. Green can't be here in box 4, so green would have to be one of these two. So this would be 5 necessarily, because it can't be 1 or 2. If that were the case, so then this would be 5. You'd have 5 here, 5 here. And you would have to have a 5 here. Because it can no longer be part of box 2. Box... Actually, can't even be here. It has to be one of these two. Okay. And that seems like it works. So the digits in the Sudoku, there's either 5 appearing in them or 6 because of the way that the Latin, well, I don't even know if it's the Latin square combined with the Sudoku works. It might just be with the Sudoku in general, right? You have how many? You have 49 cells. Yeah, you have these cells which can be part of 4 boxes. So the only cells which can have 6 digits that are missing, or sorry, 6 digits that are in the Sudoku are these cells here. And they work like how it's shown like in this situation, right? We know the 5 cannot be here. So we're missing a 5 here, and we're missing a 5 here. So there's only 5 5s available in the Sudoku. So 5 cannot be either of these cells. Because you have the same, you have these 4 digits must be only part of, must be in part of columns 8 and 9 once, and rows 8 and 9 once, which means they have to appear 6 times in the Sudoku. So I think it has to be these digits, right? So it's 6, 7, or 8 here. Right, because you have a similar setup as this, right? Okay. So that eliminates 8 in the other 6 7s as possible here. 5 cannot be either of these, so 5 has to be one of these two. Well, if this is 5, one of these two is 5, and then this is 5. That could work. Or if this is 5, that means this would have to be 5. Which eliminates 5 here, and then one of these two would be 5 here. So this cannot be missing a 5 in row 3. We're guaranteed a 5 here. So again, for the 5 in box 5, 8 has to be one of these two, first of all. Um, hmm. Yeah, so these cells must match these two to have 6 cells available in the squish doku. So if you have them on the corner, obviously that doesn't work, right? Because then it's part of 4 boxes already. And you only have possible 1, 2, 3, 4 8s necessarily in the squish doku. But we know this 8 here eliminates one of the 8s in columns 8 and 9 and one of the 8s in rows 8 and 9. So we only have 1 8 outside of the squish doku. We have 5 only in the squish doku. So that gives us at most 8 8s possible when we know we have to have 9 8s because every row has unique digits. So that means we have 9 8s necessarily. So that's the reason why 8 has to be here. It's the same with this 6 7, right? This 6 7 can only appear once in these cells here and once in these cells here. So if we have only 5 of them appearing here, that doesn't work, right? We have 5 plus 1 plus 1 and then another 1, which gives us only 8 6 of that particular 6 7 when we know we have to have 9 of them in the entire puzzle, in the entire grid. So that's the reason why those sets work there. So 5 is guaranteed to be one of these. This is basically 3 4 6 7 9, with 5 possibly being one of those two. So we have 8 8s, right? Sorry, 6 8s in the squish doku. And it has to follow something similar to like the orange and the reds. So orange has orange there, orange there. So they must be... Orange can only be sharing. So again, we have 8 either here or here. Okay. Right, we have a 1 2 5 triplet in box 4. That leaves the remaining digits as 3 4 6 7 8 9. So if I'm trying to figure out how... Okay, so this is sharing 2 boxes. This is sharing 2 boxes. This is in its own box, We're sharing another 1 2 there. So it must be 3 1 2s shared by 3 boxes, and then a separate 1 2 for each other one. Um, 8 cannot be missing here. This is 9 here, which eliminates 9 the rest of the column. We know this is some combination of 1, 2, or 5. Can this ever actually be 5? 5 would have to be with 4 and 1 or 3 and 2. But that doesn't work because this can't be 1 or 2. So, this can't be 5. Um, hmm. What is the digit that's here? Hmm. Um, hmm. Hmm. If we have, say we had one of the non 6, 7, or 8s here. Is that possible? I guess so, yeah. So orange means we have orange here and orange here mixing. So if you have a 5 here, this is 5 here, that's 5 there. That works. And then 5 is 1. 5 has to be... Hmm. Um... Hmm. What happens if we have all single digits there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this would have to be the non 3, 4 that's there. Hmm. We cannot be missing orange or red here. But it could be something like orange here and red here. Hmm. Hmm. So let's say 8 was here. That means 8 could not be any of these cells here. So in box 7, 8 would have to be here. So if we had 8 here, that means this could no longer be 8. So we'd guarantee have an 8 in one of these two cells, so this could not be 8 here. That means we'd have to 8 in one of these cells. This would be a 2-8 pair. So you could not have 1 or 9 here, which means this would not be 2. We'd have to have 2, 8 here. This is 1, 5. That would force orange to be 2. So we have 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, and 2. So this would be 2, which would force this to be 6. Which would mean that would have to be 6 here. So this is 1. 8 again would be one of these two. We'd have 8 here. You'd have to have 8 here. So that means 8 would have to be one of these two. So you'd have 8 here, 8 here. That seems feasible. We have an 8 here, an 8 here, an 8 here. Which means in box 6 we need an 8 in one of these two cells. So that would be 8. So we'd have to be missing an 8 in one of one of these cells here in rows 1 and 2. Because we have an 8 here and then an 8 here. Then 8 there. That seems fine. So this can never be not 7, 6, or 8. So if this is 8, this would have to be 6. So this could never be 7. Can we have then 7 here? That would be 7 there. This would have to be 8. This would have to be 7 and 1, adding up. So therefore, these would be 1. This would then have to be 1 and 9. So this would be 2, 5 as a pair. 8 would be one of these two. 8 could not be here. This is 2. This is 1, 2, 1, and 2. So no 7 here. Seven could not be any of these digits, so this would have to be essentially a 3-7 pair here. Which means that can't have 3, 9 in the rest of box 7. So this is 4, 6, 8 as a triplet, which eliminates 4, 6, and 8 in the rest of the column. So this is 3, 7, 9 here, which eliminates 3, 7, and 9 in the rest of the box. This 3, 7 pair eliminates 3, 7 here, so we have a 4, 6, 8 triplet. And 8 being there, this is 4, 6, 8 triplet in box 4. So this cannot be... oh, and we have a contradiction. So no, this cannot be 7. Right? We have 4 digits in box 4 having to be 4, 6, and having to contain 4, 6, and 8, which is only 3 unique digits. So that's not possible. Interesting. Huh. Is that the same with 8s there being that way? So we know this can't be 7. We know this can't be 7 and 1. It's definitely 6 and 2. So the question is, okay, so let's remove oranges for these. Oh. Right. So, because we found out this can't be 7 and 1. So all the oranges, so we'll move that, remove that, remove that. All the actual oranges we know are 2. For the reds, remove these, remove these, remove these. All the actual reds are 1. So we're guaranteed a 2 here. We are guaranteed a 2 here. This cannot be 1 because this has to be a 1-5 pair here. So this cannot be 9 ever here. So 9 has to be one of these 3 digits, and 8 is here. That eliminates 8 in the rest of the box because we know this is 2 and 8 here. Well, where is 8 in column 3? It has to be one of these 2 digits, which eliminates 8 from the rest of the boxes that they're in. So we have a guaranteed 8 here. This can't be 8. Where is 8 in box 4? It has to be one of these 2 digits, which means this can't be 8. It's 6, which forces that to be 8. So then we have something similar there. This 6 eliminates 6 in the rest, and this has to be 6 here in the rest of the box. So no more 6s there. This can't be missing a 6 because of 6 in the column. This can't be 6 anymore. Where is the 6 in box 4? It must be one of these 2 digits. So again, we're missing an 8 in one of these 2 digits because we have 8 here, 8 here. 8 has to be one of these 2. 8 must be one of those 2. And 8 cannot be here or here for box 2 and 5 because we have 8s in those boxes. This can't be 8 because one of these must be 8 to add up to 10 with the 2. So where is the 8 missing in row 8 from the Sudoku? It must be missing it here. So this is guaranteed to be 8 here because we need one for both. And this can't be 8. This can't be 8 because of 8's in those boxes. And this can't be 8 because of 8 in the row. So where's the 8? 8 has to be here. So this can't be 6 or 8 anymore. This can't be 6 or 8. So 8 has to be here, which means this can't be missing 8 there. We have a 6 here, which eliminates 6 in the rest of the boxes that they're in. So 6, where is 6 in column 3? It must be one of these two digits, which means this cannot be a 4-6 pair here. This has to be 3, 7, and 8 with 2. That means we cannot have 2, 3, 7, 8 in the rest of the box. This can't be 3, 7. This becomes a 4, 6, 9 triplet, which eliminates 4, 6, and 9 in the rest of the column. So this is 3, 7, and 8 here. That eliminates 3, 7, and 8 in the rest of the box, so no 3, 7 here. We have a 4, 6, 9 triplet in box 4, which eliminates 4, 6, and 9 in the rest of the box, so no 4 or 9. This becomes then 8 with 3 or 7, which does work there. Interesting. So if this is 3, this could be 4. Or with 1 and 2. So we know 2 is one of these two. Nine is one of these. This is 4, 6, 9 as a triplet, which eliminates 4, 6, 9 in the rest of the box. So this is now 3, 5, and 7. Remaining digits of row 5 are 3, 4, 6, 7, and 9. This can't be 6 because of 6 in the column. Six is one of these two. 6 cannot be in the rest of box 6. So it has to be one of these 4. We have a 6 here, a 6 here, and a 6 here. Where's the 6 in Okay, so the remaining digits, so this 3, 7, 8 triplet eliminates 3, 7, and 8 in the rest of box 2. So that means this must be what? 2, 4, 5, 6, and 9. Right? 2 cannot be here. These can't be 6, so we know we have a 6 in one of these two digits here. Where can 6 be in row 5? It has to be here, right? Because it can't be on these because we have a 6 in those boxes. Can't be here because we have a 6 in that box. So it can't be here because of 6 in the column, so this must be 6 here. Therefore, we are guaranteed a 6 here in column 4, which means this can't be 6. Where is the 6 in row 9? It has to be here. So this must be 6 and 4 here. That forces this to be 3. So this can't be 4, 6 in column 1. That's 9, which eliminates 9 in the rest of the box. So this is 4. This can't be 4. That's 6. This 9 eliminates 9 from being here. And this 4 in box 5 eliminates 4 from being there. So this is 5. Well, we have a 3, 7 pair in box 5 now, which eliminates 3 and 7 in the rest of the box. So this is 9. Again, for the central 9 here, this 4 eliminates 4 being here. So this 5 eliminates 5 from being here. Where's the 5 in box 8? It has to be here. So this is 5. This can't be 4 anymore because of the 4 in the box. These can't be 5. So it's 2, 4, or 9. This 3, 7 pair eliminates 3 and 7 in the rest of the column. So this can't be 3. This is 4. 4 eliminates 4 here. So it's 7. And then this must be 3 here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 adding up to 10, and 3 and 7 adding up to 10. This can no longer be 5 or 9, so it's 4 or 6 there. That eliminates 4 and 6 in the rest of the box, so this can't be 4. 9 cannot be here, because 9 and 1 only add up to 10, and it has to be part of a segment that adds up to 10. So this is 2, this is 9, which means this is orange, so this can't be orange, and these can't be orange. 2, 6, and 2 only add up to 10, but then you would have a single digit trying to add up a 10 there, which is not possible. And you can't have repeats in the same row, so that doesn't work. So this has to be 4. So it's 2, 4. None of these add up to 10 with 2 and 4, 7 or 8, but we could have 3 here and 1 here, and we must have that. So this is 3, this is 1, which eliminates 3 here, so it's 7, that's 3. 3 and 7 eliminate 3 and 7 here, so that's 8. So this is red, which means this can't be pink. Well, we actually think we already knew that. That couldn't be pink anyways. So none of these can be red. So this is 1, which means this can't be 1. It's 5. It's the pink. So no red, no pink here. This is 1. 5 eliminates 5 in the rest of the column, so it's 7. So this cannot be 3, 7 adding up to 10 here. It's 2 and 8. So that's 2 and 8, which means this can't be 2 or 8. It's 3, 7 as a pair, which eliminates 3, 7 in the rest of the column. This can't be 3 or 7. It's 8. This is obviously not orange. This can't be orange. Where is the orange? It has to be here. This can't be pink because of pink in the column. So this can't be 7 or 8. It's 3. That leaves this as a 2 and this as a 5. This can't be red because of the 1 in the row, so this has to be 1 there. These can no longer be 5 here. 4 eliminates 4 here, so that's 6. Last digit remaining column 2 is a 4. Okay. Remaining digit in column 5 is a 7, which makes this 3, which makes that 7. And the rest we can, well, is this Sudoku? It's kind of, yeah, there's kind of Sudoku here. So remaining digits in row 1, we have 3, 5, or 7. Okay. This can't be 5 because of 5 in the box. Remaining digits of, this can't be 3 because of 3 in the box. We have squish Sudoku, I guess, which is... So remaining digits in box 6. Well, we need a 9 in box 6, and none of these can be 9 because of 9s in the row, so this has to be 9 here, which makes this 7. 7 eliminates 7 in the column. Remaining digits in column, or box 6, are 4, 7, and 8. And 7 cannot be either of these digits, so that forces a 7 to be there. These can't be 7 because of 7s in the row. This can't be 9 because of 9 in the column, so that's 5, that's 9. This becomes a 4, 8 pair, which eliminates 4 and 8 in the rest of the row. Therefore, the remaining digits in box 3 has to be 3, 6, and 7. This can't be 7 because of 7 in the column. Can't be 3 because of 3 in the column. So this is 6, which eliminates 6 here. Can't have an 8 here. We must be missing an 8 in row 2. So, and it cannot be here. So this is 8 here. Therefore, this 3 eliminates 3 here. So that's 7, which makes that 3, which makes this 5. This can't be 3 or 5. It's 7. The remaining digit in row 2 is a 9. Remaining digit in row 3 is a 3. Remaining digits in row 4 are 4 and 5, but this can't be 5 because of 5 in the column. So it's 4 and 5. Okay, remaining digit in column 9 is a 4. Remaining digits in column 8 are 3 and 9. And 3 cannot be here because of 3 in the row, so that's 9, that's 3. 9 eliminates 9 here, so it's 6 and 9. Remaining digits of row 6 are 6 and 8. This can't be 6 because of 6 in the column, so that's 8 and 6. 8 eliminates 8 here, so it's 4 and 8, which leaves us a 5 and a 4. And that's the solution. Yeah, so I was helped out by knowing that the way that these squish dokus interact with the larger Latin square. Because I've done something similar to here before. It's very interesting, though, finding this, the way that this works, right? The relationship between the squish doku and the Latin square is kind of fascinating in that these 4 cells have to essentially be these 4 cells here. And yeah, I guess I sort of semi-derived this again, but I mean, I guess I did derive it again. But I guess I already knew about this, so that was kind of helpful. If you don't know about that, that relationship, it becomes a little harder. But I guess you could sort of figure it. Again, like I derived it the first time I did it, so or deduced it, I guess it would be. It's not derived it. Yeah, because it's already there. It's not not deriving something. It's basically always been there. It's just a matter of finding it out, right? And figuring out that you have to have that relationship between the Latin square and the squish doku. But that's really the key of solving this, because otherwise, yeah, I don't know how you... Obviously, you have the arrow here, and figuring that out was pretty key. That it had to be a combination of 1s and 2s. Otherwise, the squish doku wouldn't work. And then when you had that, you could figure out where the red and the green had to be, what these combinations were, what these digits had to be from that. So, yeah. Overall, just, I am kind of curious about these interactions between squish dokus and Latin squares. I don't know how much more you can take from it, but it is an interesting interplay between those two. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this solve, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.